Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are on in. You don't mind me today. I will attempt to stream this morning, but my phone's already buffering, so it's going to be a really, really crappy Wi Fi day. Let me just close a few things on here. I, I'm gonna, like I said, I'll try my best, but as soon as the phone, if I can't see my stream on my phone, then I'm just gonna jump off of here. But anyway, I finished up Railroad Silo 01. I've been working on all day yesterday. I didn't stream. I was working on Railroad Silo Altoona. Literally spent about 8 hours so far just on Railroad Silo 02 area. So Railroad Silo 02 area has there's a farmhouse. Put your sleeve trigger down. A little bit of storage, and then it has the railroad silo on the top of the hill where you can transfer from truck to train, train to truck, which is connected to the one on the bottom of the hill. So you can put stuff in on top, take it out at the bottom, or put it in on the bottom, take it out on top. And we have worker storage. Now I'm going to stretch this piece of property out to the corner where the road bends. So we're going to have a big grass meadow with it and a forest with it on the same piece of property. So what I want to do now is I want to get this farmland painted in so we can start. We got to put the fence around next and then make it work. So I do want to work on the fence a little bit, but I want to get a new farmland for that area. So we're going to call it Railroad 02 Silo. And it is going to be farmland 35. It's going to be a big piece of property. So number 35. So we want bits 0, 1, and 5. Oop, not you. You can stay on. Terrain detail. I want the next one down. So 0, 1, and 5. Yep, number 35. Let's, and again, as usual, I'm going to overpaint and then just fix it coming back. So I'm going to take this property out a little bit further. And we'll fix it when we come back with the next piece of property. But it's literally going to run all the way out to the corner. And we'll see how much it costs when we get in game. And if we finish this, we'll get started on. I do have errands to run after lunch, so I don't know. I'm going to stream till lunchtime, but I don't know when I'll be back on. But yeah, this is going to be a nice piece of property. And we still have to make it buildable. But yeah, I'm not going to leave any of the railroad silos free to use. You're going to have to build every one of them if you want to use them. Or just to build them, to have the fun of building them. Alright. Let me tie in the bottom piece of property to the top piece of property, and we'll finish painting over towards the corner. Now this piece of property may be way too big. I may have to cut it back down. We'll see. But for now, like I said, I'm going to definitely overpaint some of it. I can adjust the price down if it's too expensive. Get down here. I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit so I can get a nice clean line between that next farmland and this farmland. I'm going to switch over to square for a minute or two. Careful with the mouse. I want to keep it right along the road until I get to the other side, then I can overpaint and fix it when we do the property on the other side of the road. Farm Chick 63, good morning. Sassy 155. Good morning, don't mind me. I'm getting my annual beginning of spring sinus infection, so happens every year. And there's a cold front moving in, and I've been really stiff and sore the last 2 days. So it's not a good day today. I will run until lunchtime, and then I do have some errands to run after lunch. So I don't know if I'll be back on. But I do know that Dixie is planning on streaming at some point soon. Let's see how far over to the left I went. So I did spend most of the day off camera working. I spent literally 8 hours off camera working on Railroad Silo 02. And basically now we just need to fence it in to make it work. The pollen is awful already. Yeah, it's been really bad here. Alright, so now we need to start making this work. I'm going to get it fenced in. Yeah, fence it in starting right here by the mountain and work our way around. Alright, so we are working on Railroad Silo 2. We have to start the invisibility nodes. So I'm going to grab a fence and then move it down. then yeah, I'll start off. Let's just go. Yeah, I'll start off about. Let's go 2.5. Make them a little bit longer. Maybe I won't have to put as many in. And these trees won't be here when we get in game because these trees build with this entire area. I'm going to slow down my speed a little bit. So I've already tested the silo trigger, so I know all the silo triggers work. So we just need to test the build once we get it ready. Like too close to the road? Nah, this should work out pretty well. I don't know if I like this longer fence. I may go back to the shorter fence. This is a big piece of property though. And I'm definitely getting... I have to go to Walmart today, which I hate Walmart. But I'm definitely going to get a new mouse pad today and see if that's what my problem is with this mouse. See why, if it's jumping all over the place. I think it is. So I want to grab a new mouse pad today. And then we'll start. I wanted to work on the greenhouses today, but I don't have anything ready. Oh crap, I gotta leave room for the monarch for the train to get through. Go about there. So we'll work on the greenhouses tomorrow. When I get up tomorrow, I'll get everything ready for the start to building the replaceable greenhouses. Alright. Probably like a minus 45. Come across here. And then I'll shorten it up when I get the next one in. Go to 0. Yeah, the Wi-Fi wasn't the greatest yesterday, so I figured I'd just spend some time. And the family was in and out all day, and they were making all kind of noise, so I figured I'll just work offline. We have... This is 2 of the 4 big ones that we're going to tie storage in from the top to the bottom. And then we're going to build 2 smaller ones. One where train 1 and 3 meets on the... One on the east side of the map, one on the west side of the map. One where train 1 and 3 meets, and then one where 2 and 3 meet. So you can transfer from train to train. And it hurts just duplicating these fence sections. So most likely I will probably not be on after lunch today, so it'll probably just be the one stream today. So we'll see how far we get. And I'm going to rename a few things so they make a little bit more sense. Because right now, Railroad Silo 01, the last one we built, they have the hotspots in the map. So it says Railroad Silo 01, but the apartment building next to it is apartment 2. And then this is Railroad Silo 2, but it's apartment 3. So I want to rename the apartments so they match the railroad silo. So Railroad Silo 1 will have apartment 1, and Railroad Silo 2 will have apartment 2. So I'm going to have to rename or renumber something. So I do want to look into that today as well. I can cut this corner back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit further. I don't want to messing with the AI traffic. Oh, there's no traffic spline over here. That'll work. Yeah, let's get you away from the road a little bit anyway. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Hope I had my mic muted in time. A little bit closer to the road. And I'm putting this fence in the. I should spin this fence around. It's much easier to. Hold on. I'm gonna get rid of that section. We're gonna get rid of this section. We're gonna spin this section around. It's actually easier for me to put in that direction. And actually, I'm gonna. Yeah. Let me pull you over and get you lined up. It's easier to turn it going that way than it is to turn it going the other way. And it'll look better once it's in. I know it's only temporary, but still make it look better. Probably one more and I can. Yeah, let's square back up to -90. And it will run straight down past the house. And we have to make the signs for this property. But they should be easy because we're going to pretty much duplicate rail silo 01 if I didn't delete them. If not, we'll just make new ones. But yeah, but tomorrow I definitely want to get the greenhouses. I don't know if we'll get them finished in one day, but at least we'll get them started. Now they're going to be a little bit easier because we're using the same base to build them off of as the orchards. Because I want them to be the same size as the orchards. I don't want them any bigger than that. So I'm going to use the same base. We're going to remove all the trees. We'll import one of the greenhouses in. And then duplicate it. And then we'll import in the plants. And we'll start getting the plants down. Because if we use the same base that already has everything in it, and once the first one's done, the second one we just have to swap out the plants. So so the rest of the railroad silos are going to be about a day and a half each to build. So we'll have another week's worth of railroad silos to work on. We're getting there. Let me think. Yeah, the hedge is not going to be there, so we can go through the hedge. So the hedge will build with the property. And get a couple more, and I'm going to see where I need to turn. Alright, now where do I want to end this piece of... Oh, I got to end this piece of property just past, like, between those trees. Only like 3 or 4 more sections, and it'll turn. I need like probably like 3 more. Yeah, somewhere about there. Yeah, somewhere about there. Let me take this one back and see exactly where I want to put it. Actually, that's about perfect. That's right about where. No, I want to come out another. I want to come out to about here, and so let's probably get one more section of fence in. Now you have to go down 1 slot. There we go. Yeah, that's going to work out better. That's going to be the end of this property, and then this big, I'm going to put a big field in here, and that'll be a different piece of property. We'll put some smaller fields around in the valley, and then the mountain, the outer mountain's going to get all bigger size fields. Not going to have any real tiny fields on this map. They're all going to be medium and large. Alright, so we have another railroad to deal with. So let's stretch. Oh, let me make another one first, and we'll stretch this one out a little bit. That'll work, just enough so the train can get through. And we'll take this to the mountain. And I don't care if it's in the mountain, it's going to go away when it builds. Now we have to, no, we also have this property with the top property. So let me get a fence down here. And let me see where I stuck this piece of property. Was it 0, 1, and 5? I think it was. Number 35, yeah. Alright, so we are... So I can run it... Alright, so I can run it just about where it is. No, I'm going to have to include the entrance. We're going to have to come down a little bit further. Yeah, we're going to have to come to about there. Probably stretch that one out a little bit more. Let's get one turned. And we'll see about where I want to run it. It's right about there. I'll push back a little bit. Alright, now this one we're going to make a little bit longer. That works. Close enough. But hope everybody had a great weekend. It was yesterday. It was one of those days where I worked on the map for like 2 hours. I took a half-hour break. I worked on the map for like 2 hours. Took a half-hour break. It was just one of those days where I couldn't sit long. Alright, now this piece of property is going to run back to the mountain. So this will be another nice little area we can put some small placeables down. Now, this Railroad Silo 03, the next one we're going to do, is going to be a little bit smaller because it's on a weird shaped piece of property. Alright, so there's our construction barriers done. So now we just need some signs, and we need to put the working pieces in. But yeah, I've already tested all the silos. I know all the silos work. Alright, so let's get our fence section to put the sign on. And then let me do a quick save. We'll get our signs made. And then we'll head back up to the construction area. We'll get the signs up there finished. Get the XML work should go really quick because we're just going to replicate Railroad Silo 01. So it's literally just copy paste, change 01 to 02. So the XML work should go pretty quick. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do with Railroad Silo 03 once we get over there. I want to get the four big ones done first, the ones that tie in the top to the bottom. Alright, so let me minimize this and let's go to our signs. Now, build Railroad Silo 01 I can duplicate. So we're going to go File, Export, Ritchie Valley, Signs. I'm going to call it, we're going to go build what we're going to change it to 02. But I'm going to take my blank one and we're going to go open RR02. Alright, so we're going to take open RR02. Oh, nope, I want textures. We're going to take where am I? It's one of those days, don't mind me today. I need. A blank one. There we go. Now I need to open up my pictures. Yeah, don't mind me today. I took a screenshot of what Railroad Silo 02 is going to look like. Open with paint.net. There we go. So we're going to use parts of this to make... I'm going to cut this back a little bit more. We're going to use parts of this to make our sign. Go copy, paste. That's I can live with that. Then we're going to go, let's go color picker. Let's go yellow. If yellow doesn't look good, we'll change to red. Go to, future home of Railroad Silo 02. That works. Oh, if I can spell. Future home of Railroad Silo 02. Then we'll go File, Save As, and this one is Open RR02. There we go. Now I'm going to grab build, where am I? Build Railroad Silo 01. This one. And we're just going to change it from 01 to 02. So I got to go back to black. And then we're just going to grab a little blank spot. We're going to cover up, well, let me just cover up 01. We'll put it 02 in there. And now we just need text 02. Actually, I want to change that. Let's go. Oh, is it not going to let me? Okay. Now we'll go back to text. Let's go 0. Okay. Don't like that one either. So let's go. Go a darker yellow. What do you look like? Well, don't like the gold either. Oh, I think let's go. There we go. Orange. That works. go File, Save As, but we're going to number it 0, 2. Alright, now our I3Ds. Open railroad silo. So we assign open RRO2 and then build. We should be build O2. Now this one should say 02, and it does. And then this one, where's our open railroad silo O2, should have our new sign on it. And it does. Okay. So now we go File, Import, and we're going to open railroad silo O2. This is a really big visibility node because it has all the trees in it. Oh no, it doesn't. Edit, cut, and paste. And bam, but you have to go up 1 slot. Alright, let's go to 0. And then we'll get this guy on the fence. There we go. Future home of railroad silo 02. And I'll get one. I'm going to put a couple of these signs out since this property is pretty big. And then I'm going to put another one sort of here. So let me duplicate that fence. I'll pull it out a little bit. And we'll take our sign and duplicate it. But I gotta move it up 1 slot. Alright, so we'll get one sign here, and I'm gonna get another sign. I want to put, yeah, since this is a really big piece of property, let's get a few of them out so there's no confusion. Let's throw another one here. So duplicate this fence. And we'll duplicate a sign. And then move it up 1 slot. Alright, now let's get this fence, or this sign, turned. No, I want, there we go. Alright, so that'll work, and then let's get one more down here by the farmhouse. Right about here. So we'll take this fence, pull it out a little bit, and then grab one more sign. Throw it here. Go to 0, pull it out, there we go. Alright, so this part of the property is done. Now we just need to finish up the construction area for it. And then we'll test it. Let me go up on my speed so I'm not inching along and it takes 5 minutes to fly across the map. We're slowly getting there. We're starting to fill in big portions of the map now. If I didn't take a 3-day detour to get the monorail in, we'd had all the railroad silos done. Alright, so this is gonna be the build property for Railroad Silo 02. So I'm gonna grab a sign. So let's grab this guy. So edit, cut, and paste. And we'll get our sign in. Now, where do I want to drop these products off at so it's relatively flat? So I think I'm going to go back here into the parking lot and make it drop. Yeah, I'm going to go back here. It's going to be nice and flat. Leave room for the parked cars because there's parked cars back there. But I think we're going to make it drop the products off here. Let me actually turn it. It's going to be easier. So let's go like here. Yeah, this will work better. So drop off our products to build Railroad Silo 02. So the build 02, I need this sign. There we go. So let's get you spun. And I'm just going to leave all the railroad silos. Let me go down to my speed. I'm going to leave all the railroad silos the same building materials. I'm not changing any of that up. So they all build the same. Alright, so now we need our warning stripes. And you're going to get spun this way. And now we need our exact fill route. And again, we're gonna be spending a week just testing all these triggers. We haven't brought one pallet over to any of these triggers to see if they need to be adjusted. Alright, so I need a pallet trigger. Pallet trigger. Pull it down just a hair. There we go. And then the last one we need is the player trigger. Player trigger. over here. Make sure it doesn't land on top of the other trigger. And we'll just spin it. Alright, so that's going to tell us what we need to build Railroad Silo 02. So now we just need to get a camera in here. So let me throw in a camera. Alright, so I can... I can close. I can close for now. I'm going to grab this camera, duplicate it. And then throw it here. And all I need is a camera for the build. That's all we need. Alright, so now let's get... So all of our map work should be done. We have our farmland painted. Alright, so now we just need our user attributes. To make it work. Alright, so you are a string. Script callback. Another string. And then a float. Now you are number 35. You are Rail Silo 02. Now I can come up here to Rail Silo 01. So let's grab this and put it here. And then we can grab this, move it down to here. And we're going to call this 02. So this, all of our map work should now be done. So I'm going to do a save. While that's saving, we're going to go to our 110. Now look at that. So we're going to grab Rail Silo 01. And now we just go here, we go Rail Silo 01. We replace it with 02. Alright, so we have Railroad Silo 02, so that's quick and easy. Now we go to Placeables Global Company. We find Rail Silo 01. We rename it 02. And we change all of this to 02. Now I can close, I can close. I'm going to leave this one open for a minute. Now what I want to do, before we go in game and test these, we have, let me look at wrong folder. Ritchie Valley. Maps, placeables. Rob VTV, hello, thank you for stopping in. I want to go to rail silos. Now I want to take passenger 01, because right now when you go in map, if you go to railroad silo 01 area, it's railroad silo 01 hotspot, but it's apartment 02, and I want to change these up a little bit. So if you take passenger station 01, which is apartment 1, we're going to rename because it's in the center of the map. So we're going to go, so we have central warehouse, we're going to go central apartments. So you need to be changed to central apartments. And then you need to be changed to central apartments. This way it'll make more sense when we go back into the map. Now we take passenger 02 and it's actually going to be apartment 01. I can't change the i3 to the XML, it'll mess me up. So, but you're going to be apartment 1. And then passenger 03 becomes apartment 2. And we'll see if this makes more sense in game. You become 2. And you become 2. This way now, when we do railroad silo 3, we put apartment 3 in and then they match on the map. Alright, so map work is done. Map is saved. 110 is done for rail silo 02. XML is done for railroad silo. Let's fire up the game. We'll give railroad silo 02 a quick test. And then we'll start building 03. So I need to delete number 8. We'll head back in here. And I want to try and figure out, it's going to take me, I'm going to have to make 3 separate i3Ds if I do it, but I was thinking about color coordinating the 3 different monorails somehow, so we can, I want to try and get them so they're at least 3 different colors or look a little bit different. But the problem with that, I'm trying to keep the map size down, and I'd have to build 3 monorails instead of 1 monorail. So I don't know how I want to separate out the monorails yet. But anyway, let's see if we have any errors in the log first before we move on. Oh, we messed something up. I forgot the i3D map. I forgot the i3D map the new rail silo. So let's get out of here. We got so excited about testing, I forgot to i3D map it. Come on, quit out. I know you got a bunch of Lua errors. But once you're quitting out of there, yeah, reload. I forgot to map it. So let's come down here. We have to go to invisibility. We have to scroll back down to here. and we grab exact field route number 4. We come over to Rel Silo 02. So you are number 167. You become 168, and you should be 169. So 168 and 169. 168 and 169. Save. Alright, let's try that again. Alright, now let's try this again. Let's see if I got rid of all those Lua errors. That looks better. That looks much better. Alright, now, so let's grab some cash. Let's grab some speed. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is I want to pull up the map. Now if we come up here, yeah, see this makes more sense. So we have Rel Silo 01 and Apartment 01 together. And then over here we have Rel Silo 02 and Apartment 2, so they're together. And now in the center of the map, we now have Central Apartments and Central Station. So that makes more sense now in game. So let's grab a truck. And let's head over towards the construction site so we can watch it build. I have my problem should be solved for the stream. Oh, cool. I've dust-free my computer and CPU. Yeah, mine's overdue. I got to shut mine completely down, unplug it, and then take a can of air and go to town on mine too. Just been, oh, I'm going the wrong way. It's been about a month since I've cleaned mine. It's a bit dusty. I don't do much. I just open it up, blow it out with a can of air, and then I dust off my monitor and keyboard. Alright, so let's head over here. If I don't crash. Eventually we get these roads connected up. There we go, perfect. So we have our parking lot is sitting there. So you're going to be, there we go. So let's come out here so we can watch this build. And then let's grab another truck. And we'll, ooh, I forgot switch to trains was still on. Let's head over to check out our new area. There shouldn't be anything over there except for our construction barrier. Yeah, I did look around on top of Center Mountain the other day yesterday for about good 15-20 minutes. I think I know what I want to do with the rest of the top of the Center Mountain. Oh, hang on, I got something floating. What the heck? Let me back up. I swear I just saw something floating. Yeah, I've got fences floating from where? Oh, we're gonna have to go look at those in the editor. Hold on. I got floating fences somewhere about where I am. Where's my truck? Why do we have floating fences and where did they come from? And that's going to mess up wherever we fix it from. That's really going to mess up our i3D mapping. But why do I have floating fences? Oh, I'm not going to see them. No, I should see them in the editor. Why can't I see them in the editor? I see them in the game. Why do I have floating fences over here and I don't see them in the editor? Now let's try this. Let's light up all of Global Company and see if I can see floating fences. No, that's really weird. So let's unhighlight Global Company. Let's highlight places. Now, do I have floating fences? Okay, so why do I have floating fences in the game and not floating fences in the editor? Alright, let me go back in game a minute. Right? Yeah, we got floating fences. Hold on, I gotta go let's get down to the bottom of the mountain. I wanna go into flight mode. I gotta see why the hell I have floating fences and I can't see them in the editor. Alright, so we're just going to park you here a minute. Let's go into flight mode. Where the heck did they go? Do I have my speed? Yeah, I have my speed on. What the heck? Oh, there they are. You are floating benches. Oh, I know what you're part of. You're part of my staging area. You're part of my... Hold on, I know what they're... Oh, wrong one. I think I know what they're part of. Let's go back into the editor for a minute. Let's unhighlight you a minute so I can fly. I think they're part of this stuff I brought into stage to use parts and pieces out of. And if that's the case, they're going to get deleted out. I just brought this in so I can steal parts and pieces from it, but I'm thinking it's part of this mess. Let's see if they're highlighted in green. They are highlighted in green. Okay, they're going to go away. That scared me for a minute. I'm going, why the heck do I have floating fences? I know there's nothing there. I forgot I imported a bunch of decorations in from the base game map. My son cleans mine when he cleans his. Nice. It was necessary. My CPU fan was completely shut off. Oh, that's not good. Alright, let's head over to Railroad Silo 02 now that we're no longer distracted by floating fences. Or benches or whatever they were. I'll see, even driving over this bridge, those monorail tracks look really cool. Even this piece of property here, this is going to end up being one long field, I think. Or two smaller ones. I'm trying to do smaller fields down here in the valley and then bigger fields up on top of the mountain, outer mountain. But I also want to put in a starter forest so you can get your mill up and running, that you have access to, that's not walled in. So that's something else we're going to have to work in. Okay, so our bottom silo's not built. Perfect. This is an empty lot. When we get up top, our forest should not be built either. It took me all day to get these, most of the couple hours to get these trees in. There we go. So this is a big empty area now too, or also. That's exactly how I want it to look. So we have our empty lot. I mean, the map's going to look like crap when you first start it because it's not going to have much on it. When you start your new save game, you're going to have a bunch of just this empty big plots of land and fenced off that you can't get into it. Alright, perfect. So there's nothing left up here except for the parked cars, but there's nothing I can do about those. So you are going to be future home of our railroad silo. And actually I want to spin around. Hold on. I want to get it at a different angle. Come down here to the end of the property. There we go. So let's come over here. Let me switch off tab to trains. So let me come over here and let's, again, I'm going to buy these for now. Oh, we didn't buy the property. That would help. Let's buy the property. So what is that piece of property going to cost us? That piece of property is going to cost us $2.9 million. I'm going to have to adjust that down. But that is a pretty big piece of property. It has the railroad silo on top. It has the railroad silo on the bottom. And why am I not picking up the railroad silo on the... Oh, it is picking up the railroad silo on the bottom. Okay, so the railroad silo up top, railroad silo on the bottom. It has the farmhouse. It has a huge grass meadow and a huge forest. I'm going to bring the price down a little bit, but not a lot. Oop, and I didn't buy it. Yeah, we're going to have to bring that down a little bit. Or make you work for it. Okay, why do I not have no pop-up menu for that? Oh, because I'm in flight mode. There we go. Yeah, we're going to bring that down a little bit. Alright, so, okay, so our build went active. So let's go again, 2000 speed. It's going to take like 4 game days to build. And then come down here a little bit further, we should see our forest start popping in. A tree at a time. Way back there in the distance. Our forest is coming in. Now it may slow the build down, so this one takes longer to build. Since it is a massive piece of property, it may take it up to like a 5 or 6 day build. But we can now sneak in here, we can watch the rest of our forest come in. Oh, that's right, I forgot, I don't have the train crossings there, the train, the rail things in yet. This is a pretty thick forest as well. Now I need to do a test, and I'm not going to do it today, but I want to take one of the forests that we're building. Halfway through the build, I want to cut a few trees down. I'm going to slow it down to 1 speed. I want to take a couple trees out, and then I'm going to finish the and then we're going to see if the build finishes without throwing any errors. Alright, so this property, okay, we have our apartment complexes coming in. Let me go down to, oh crap, 1 speed. Well, might as well just roll the night now. Just say, go down to 1. Let me just see if it's done building, and then I'll roll the night. Yeah, our project is 100% done. I'm not getting any more global company menu. Let me just roll the night so it's not dark. And I will take a peek at it. Make sure nothing's floating. There we go. So we have our apartment complex, our apartment building that's going to build here for this Railroad Silo 02. And then when you build the Center City Apartments, I'm going to have to change the sign to Center Apartments. The apartment complex, the apartment building here we're building it, so it'll all tie in together. And what I think I'm going to do when we do Railroad Silo 03, I'm going to put another apartment complex here, and I'm just going to run apartments along the couple apartments right there together. And then everything up here should now be working. So we have our apartment storage for workers for the bus and the monorail. So I should be able to load and I have this preloaded for testing with some workers. There we go. So zoom in. So start filling. Here we go. So the bus is working, which means if the bus is working, the monorail's working, and we can unload them back in. And then we have, turn myself around. Let's grab this guy. And So this should be preloaded with some wood chips. So we can take our wood chips out on the top or the bottom, or whatever you want to put in here. And then it should also be connected to the bottom one. Now look at all these trees for Dixie to take out. Yeah, I'm going to leave this a little bit more expensive piece of property. I'm going to take it down a little bit, but I'm not bringing it down much. You're going to make a ton of money off these trees. And then that upper silo should be connected to this lower silo. So if I harvest a big soybean field on the bottom level, I can dump them in here, and we can pick them up with the train on the top of this, on the top. So I should be able to take my same wood chips out of here. And then dump them back in and take them out on the top. So they're connected together and working. Alright, let's get out of here. Alright, so it's about 10 o'clock. We'll see how far we get on this next railroad silo. I'm going to work over here in this corner. This is going to be a weird piece of property with a road. I don't know how I'm going to do this, because I'm going to have to go across the road with the other railroad silo if I want to do the top and the bottom. So I don't have enough room in this little area to put it in. So I want to use this piece of property up here, because we have the railroad tracks and we have the monorail for our passengers. So I want to get one somewhere right about where we are. So let me get, oh, that one's just about, this one's just about exactly where I want it, but it's not in the right transform group. So I'm going to have to pull this out of its transform group and move it, but that's right about where we want it. So let's go back to global company. Close rail silo. I'm going to take this empty transform group. I'm going to make a couple spares. And then you're going to be rail silo 03. Then we take this one, put it inside of this one, and then we're going to put it like right here so it's on the property that we're working on. Rail silo 03. And then we go edit, cut, put it inside of that one. And I'm going to duplicate it So our first one is visibility. Our second one is invisibility. If I can spell. Alright, so we have our visibility, we have our invisibility. Now we're going to move you. Why do I have like 3 more? I shouldn't. Oh, they're the ones that are still spread around the map. They're for placeholders. Alright. We're going to take you, we're going to go edit, cut, visibility, edit, paste. Lord knows where it's going to put it on the map. So let's go edit, interactive placement. And we're going to get you about where you were, because it has to be somewhere on like that side of the road on the bottom, so we can tie these together. So I'm going to get this spout somewhere over the railroad tracks, about there. Alright, so that's where that one's going to go. Now I'm going to go to Railroad Silo 02. I need this central grain one. So I'm going to duplicate that one. And we're going to go edit, cut, and paste. And then it's going to go like right there for now, because I'm going to get it about centered with this one, and then it has to go down here. And then we're going to, even if, yeah, I'm probably going to have to flip it around, but we're going to have to tie in the upper one to this one. Alright, somewhere about here. And I'm going to give myself some room. And we can slide that around a little bit here in a minute. Now, the biggest challenge is going to be, and I've done this on the other side, and I'm going to do it here, because it looks much, much better in game. We're going to cut this, we're going to flatten this mountain out, and we're going to cut it back, and what it's going to do, it's going to give us more room on the top, and it's going to give us some better views as we drive around the map. So, we're going to go to, well, where was I? Not there. Here. Alright, so we're going to go to replace, and we're going to, let me click off of that. There we go. Let me just throw you on there. We're going to go here, but we need round. And we're going to push this mountain back. And it's going to open up a ton of space. We'll have to fix the edges. But it's going to give us so much more map. To work with. Not that we're out of space on a 16x map. Now we just come back here and we smooth out our edges. And we still leave a little bit of a ridge. So it still looks like a little bit of a mountain from this side, but it's not going to be as massive as it was. And then if we take out too much, we just bring a little bit more back in. And then we fix the other side once I get the inside fixed. And it's going to open us up some more room. And we'll come back in, fill in some of the holes. So when I put these mountains in, I put these mountains in really rough, knowing that I was going to mess with them. But at the same time, it's going to give us more room to work. Especially over here where we have to tie our railroad silos in from the top to the bottom. And I'm not going to go, I'm probably going to go down to about where the monorail tracks are. Actually, right about there, because it flattens itself out right there anyway. So that's going to make it a little bit easier for me to tie the top of the mountain to the bottom of the mountain. I'm not worried about textures yet. We'll get to that in a minute. But I want to get, let's come back up to Rail Silo 02 because I need to steal a silo. So let's duplicate a silo. I'll put it there for now. And I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to steal my pipe. And we have our piece of pipe. Now our silo needs to get lined up with part of this building somewhere. And yeah, that'll work. So somewhere about here. So let's pull you down a little bit. All right, now let's grab our first one of our pipes. And I'm going to zero it out so it's nice and level for now. So our first pipe is going to go somewhere. I probably have to move the silo a little bit. I want it about the, yeah, so let me pull this guy over a little bit. And then we'll make this guy shorter. Something like that. Now we take our silo. And I usually put one about halfway down the mountain, but this mountain is really, really steep. So what I think we're going to do, I'm going to try something a little bit different. Let's go duplicate, bring you straight over. I'm going to bring you straight down. You'll be lined up perfectly with the top one. But I think we're going to make you, you're going to go a bit bigger. So I'm going to need to tie those two together without messing with the traffic. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is stretch this thing out. Something like this. Something like that. And that's going to tie in our top to our bottom. And I may have to go down a little bit on size. I think I might have made it a little bit too big. Let's take you down a little bit smaller. Let's go like 3. You're not as, well, let's just go back to 3. And then I can adjust this pipe a little bit. I don't think, it's not going to interfere with the traffic. So let's take you, and we'll turn you a little bit more. There we go. So that's going to tie our 2 silos together. And now we take this guy, we can slide him back now right to the tank. Something like that. Perfect. Alright, now we need, so now I need to come back up to this one, and we need to steal our cold storage, so one of these. We'll throw one up here for this level. And we'll get you lined up with the silo. Right about there. And then we need a cold storage for the bottom. And the one on the bottom actually blocks in my ramp, so you don't have access to it, because we're not using that ramp. So I bring it in and I block off that ramp. And that actually looks pretty decent there. Now, the next thing we need, how's my mountain look? I see a couple of weird spots I want to fix. Let's get that so there's no divot there. So our mountain looks a little bit better on this side. Without making it too much taller. I know it's pretty steep over here, but that's how I wanted it. So let's fill in that divot and then down here a little bit. Alright, so that's going to make our mountain there look a little bit better. And I saw something else over here I didn't like. Right here. Let's fill in. Let's pull this up a little bit here, so that divot goes away. Oh, and that took our, there we go, something like that. So it's just, yeah, our pipe is just over the mountain. Alright, so now we need, this side. Alright, so on this side, now we come back up here. Richard Farm Inc. Hello. Thank you for stopping in, taking time out of your day and saying hello. Much appreciated. So now we grab our concrete silo. So let's duplicate that. And I usually put them in about here. And we'll get 2 up top, just to fill this gap in. And this is going to hold our liquids for the top, and we'll hold our, now we need to hold our liquids on the bottom. So we'll throw in a couple over here and fill in this little weird gap. And this is how I make my top railroad silo tie into the bottom railroad silo so they work with each other. Which means what I may do on this one, instead of putting the farmhouse on the top, we may end up with the farmhouse on the bottom. And then what I'll do is I'm going to tie in, I think I'm going to tie this big piece of property in on the bottom with the railroad silo on the top. But the railroad silo on the top is only going to have probably just a small piece of property, just enough for the railroad silo. Or I can take this weird piece of property up top, tie it in with just a small piece of property on the bottom, and then make this one on the bottom a different farmland. This one's a tough choice because it's got this weird, odd little piece of property to it. And there's no really good spot to put a farmhouse in. Unless I don't do a farmhouse up here. Now I have to put a farmhouse. You got to give you a sleep trigger. Got to give you an area to put a sleep trigger in. I knew I was going to have trouble with this corner figuring out where we wanted to put a farmhouse. Now I may do, alright, let me think. What we could do is we could take just a small piece of property on the bottom, tie it in with the top, but cut it off like right here and bring this little weird piece of property in. So it's all one farmland. Or I can say the heck with it and I can tie the entire bottom in with this top piece and we'll make it another just massive piece of property. It is such an odd shape. Alright, so which one do we want to do? I think I'm going to make a small piece of property on the bottom, but do the main focus on the top of the mountain. Now, where do I want to take the property? I really don't want to stick a farmhouse between the mountain and the monorail. But I also want to leave room to put like a meadow in where you could put placeables down. Now this section between, like this whole square will be a separate piece of property. This whole square here. But inside of here, either right on that piece of property or right over here on this piece of property, we could put the farmhouse and tie it all in together. I think I'm going to go over this direction. So let me fix from the road coming up all the way over, let me fix my textures from where I overpainted the mountain. So it'll make more sense once we start working. So let's go to green and let's get our mountain pushed back to where it belongs. And it'll make more sense once we start building. Actually, I think I'm going to bring, got a little bit, hang on, we got, yeah, a little bit of a divot there I want to bring up. And I want to bring this up a little bit. Actually, let's work on this mountain here a little bit. Let's bring that up a little bit. Now let's bring this line up a little bit. Alright, so that's going to look better in game. Yeah, it's not building the railroad silo that takes the longest. It's building everything else that goes with the railroad silo and getting all the textures done. So this is literally going to turn into like an 8-hour project, because we're going to have to build, you know, the farmhouse to go with it. We're going to have to build the apartment complex to hold our workers for the monorail. We're going to have to build whatever we decide to put in the way of meadows. So as same as yesterday, it's going to turn into this big 8-hour project. That's why I've been putting these railroad silos off, because I knew they were going to be so time consuming. Alright, let me get, yeah, we'll come down here and work our way out. Let's bring this along. The edge of the mountain. Like I said, I'm not sure where I'm going to put the property lines yet, but we can get our mountain pushed back. And the other problem we have is we have to underpaint the road and we have to underpaint the railroad tracks. But which direction do I want to go? Because if we take this square here, I can tie this little bit into it and make this one farmland on this side when we get to that. And then this square here could be another piece of property. So I'm thinking I'm going to cut where this road comes up. I think is going to be the border for our property. So I think I'm going to include this weird little square here on the top. And we're going to take it straight across to the edge of the map. So we're going to include this piece of property up top. We're going to come straight across. We're only going to include a little square on the bottom to tie the railroad silo in. And I don't even have to do that. I can even make that a different piece of property on the bottom. But we can fence it in with the top piece of property. And when you buy this bottom piece of property, it'll be all the same. I think I'll like that idea better. So that means we could put our farmhouse maybe back here off the road. We'll bring a driveway coming in. We'll put our farmhouse back here. I'll put a couple sheds in, and we'll put another driveway in coming back this way. I think that's what we're going to do. So let's actually, crap, I'm going to have to get Now, before I go any further, I'm going to have to underpaint. I got to underpaint the tracks and I got to underpaint the road before we start painting textures. So let's go to square. Let's go to gravel. And let's get this taken care of. Or it's going to make it harder, much harder later once I start painting textures. So this will tie in our tracks and our monorail. Or do I want to cut that back? It's going to be one of those indecisive days. I can feel it now. Now let's take the gravel underneath the monorail as well. No, because I don't have it. Hang on. Yeah, it's going to be one of those indecisive days. Let's try that again. So I want it to match the rest of the map. Yeah, we'll go just along here. Because I have grass underneath the monorail tracks on the other two railroad silos we built. And I'm going to go for about another hour and then I have to get out of here. I have some errands to run. And I don't know if I'll be back today or not. And if I'm not, today just may be a not get much done day. But tomorrow we definitely have to work on the greenhouses. And if the greenhouses take us 2 days, then then we won't get any map work done for 2 days, which is fine. Gives me a break. Gives me a chance to come up with a couple new ideas. Take a couple days off and come in with a fresh set of eyes. See what I don't like, what needs to be changed, moved, fixed. So if I take this piece of property all the way down, which I'm going to do, we're going to have to paint the railroad tracks all the way to the edge of the map. Or I'm not sure. I guess it's one of those indecisive days. I don't know if I want to make this a separate piece of property and just make this a little bit less expensive railroad area, and it'll be easier to buy early game and make this a separate piece of property. I think I like that idea better, so we just have to underpaint the road. Actually, might as well just take this all the way to the edge of the map and be done with it. And this way, if I decide to go the other route, it'll already be done. So I'm thinking the other two railroad silos are a bigger piece of property. I think I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller piece of property. And to make a couple smaller pieces of property next to it, it'll be easier to buy early game. Alright, so over here we're going to have to tie both railroad tracks together. So I might as well just gravel all the way across. Might as well gravel all the way across to the bridge. And we'll fix that whole corner textures when we get to this piece of property. Alright, so there is our railroad track done on the piece of property we're working on. Now we have to underpaint the road. Yeah, I think I'm going to make this a separate piece of property by itself, and if you buy it, it'll be a little bit cheaper. This might be a good starter forest over here that's not buildable and barricaded. And if you buy this piece of property, I'll leave this a meadow where you can put factories down, and then this will be an inexpensive forest for you to get your lumber started. That's probably going to be the better route to go. So let's won't take me long to knock the rest of this out. And then we'll start building our farmhouse. And if we go with a smaller piece of property, then it's going to be a quicker build. Oh, too much on that side. Yeah, days like today where I'm completely exhausted and not in a creative mood are the days where I usually just don't even work in the editor. But I wanted to get something done today. Oh, too far. Because my mouse keeps jumping. Watch, I'll go to Walmart and I'll completely forget to look at new mouse pads when I'm there. Alright, now where am I going? Yeah, I just need to go straight across past the railroad silo. So do we have any American Idol fans watching that are in chat? Or does nobody watch American Idol? Or did I already bore everybody to sleep? Like, he has no idea what he's doing today. Farm Chick, you don't watch much TV. There's not many shows I actually watch. Because I spend all day in the editor. So the TV's off all day. I'll watch for like 2 hours at night. That's about it. After dinner, when we're done getting all the kitchens cleaned up and everybody settles down, usually 7 o'clock Central Time. So I'll usually watch TV from like 7 to 9, and I'm usually lights out at 9 o'clock. And then I wake up at like 3:30 in the morning, can't fall back to sleep. Sassy One, don't watch a lot. Usually on your computer. There was this really good. I mean, he was young. He was still in high school. I think he was like 17. Really good country singer, but not like the modern or current country. More of the really really old country, like Waylon Jennings. You know, Kenny Rogers back in the day. The old Willie Nelson. So he was that old, really old country. And the judges actually sent him home last night because I swear he was a better singer than Luke Bryan. I think Luke Bryan was threatened by him because I honestly think he was a better country singer than Luke Bryan. And I think that's why they sent him home last night. Because they felt threatened by him. But I had him predicted as the winner, honestly. And they sent him home last night. I just want to take this out to like this corner so I know it's done. So I honestly think that's the only reason they sent him home last night. Back when country was still country, yeah, that's the kind of singer he was. And I mean, when you listen to him sing, you swear that you were listening to Waylon Jennings or Kenny Rogers or any of those old country singers. He was that good. He put Luke Bryan to shame easily. Put Luke Bryan to shame, and I think that's why they sent him home. I think Luke was threatened by him. So I actually got so pissed off. I shut the show off last night. Like, I'm not even gonna watch the rest of the season. They were sending all the good singers home, and they were keeping everybody that had this like sob story, and that's the only reason they're there. So it wasn't even worth watching after that point. All right, so we're gonna need a concrete pad for up here. And I never did like Katy Perry, so it's a no big loss there. Now I think, yeah, I want to leave a little bit of grass along the mountain, so we're going to tie in to about there, coming across. And I'll give you plenty of room to get your trucks up here and get them turned around. So let's bring our concrete over on. Oh, it's so hard to see with that monorail track. But if I bring the concrete out, then I don't have to mess with grass in that little area between the building and the track. Alright, so now you're going to need room to come. I'm going to actually pull you out a little bit further. You're going to need room to come down this ramp with your truck. And then we can tie this sort of back in together. And then you're going to need room. Actually, we're going to come out a little bit further. Yeah, you're going to need room to come out. Too far. You're going to need room to come out. There we go. Something like that. And then we're going to connect to that road. So we're going to bring in a driveway somewhere in here. And we'll take that out to the road on this side. Yeah, they said they sent him home because nobody wants to listen to the old country anymore. And he needs to be a more modern singer. It's like, y'all are a bunch of idiots. Judges had no freaking idea what they were talking about last night. They literally told them that nobody wants to listen to the old school country anymore. He needs to find his own identity. And that's when I got so pissed off I turned the TV off. It's like, y'all, I'd say I'm done. Good luck with the rest of this season. I ain't watching. When Katy Perry's the biggest hack out there. Alright, so there's our concrete pad for the top. So we'll have a road coming in, you can drop your stuff off, pull back out, and I think we're going to do like a little driveway back to a farmhouse here, and then another road coming out that way. And then this property on the other side of the street will be a different farmland. Alright. I haven't saved in a while, so before we start building this farmhouse, I'm going to do a quick save. So let me do a save. And we'll import in a new farmhouse for this one. I agree with you 100%. Yeah. Even Luke Bryant, when he first started out, never sang his own songs. So tell this poor kid to find his own identity. So let's go to my folder that has all my stuff in it. I think there's a couple houses in here I haven't used yet. And there's a couple cars and stuff in here we haven't used yet either. We're going to grab... Oh, what does the garden center look like? Oh, it's that building. I didn't care for that building. But I may use it at some point for like a new store or something. Alright, gas station. Hedges I have. House 1. What do you look like? Nice stone. A nice stone farmhouse. Let's grab this one. Let's go File, Import, Ritchie Valley, New Buildings, House 01. Oh, come on. Cancel. File, Export, Ritchie Valley, New Buildings. HOU, I can't even type today, House 01. There we go. So we brought the house, and now do you have any kind of garage to go with you? Okay, so what does house 2 look like? Almost like the first one, but a different color. What does house 3 look like? They're probably going to be the same, just different textures. Yep. And then what is a hunting hut? Okay, so you're just a stand. Oh, actually, I'm going to grab that. That'll look cool, like in the backyard as a playground item, looking down over the valley. Let's go, file, export, hunting hut. And then let's see if we have any kind of garage in here. What the heck is a lemon? Oh, you're a lemon, Ooh, we can add lemons into the map. I'm seeing a new placeable for lemons. Lemonade. Oh yeah, we're gonna bring lemons in. What is a local inn? Oh, you're the building I use for the old man's mill. Alright, log pile, lumber mill. Do any of these houses have a garage? You're a little bit bigger. MF2. You're going to be the same, use different textures. Okay. Old tractor, rocks. Yeah, there's not going to be a garage to go with. There's no garage to go with all those. What is a TJ Junction? Oh, you're just a road section. Bunch of vehicles, which I already have. What does this warehouse look like? Oh, that's a warehouse with a working garage, a door, I think. Do you have a working door? Skylights fuse box. Is your door... Oh, that is a working door. We maybe use this warehouse at some point as well. Watermill. I'm just playing around now. I'm curious to see what these things look like. Yay, lemons! That's interesting. File, import, watermill. Oh, come on. File, export. Alright, so there's our watermill. We'll bring that in at some point. Watermill broken, water tower. Yeah, I didn't even look at this whole decorations pack. You're just some white lines for the roads. Okay. Windmill, which I think is the same one I'm using for my mill. Yeah, that's a different one. That one's pretty cool though. Wooden house. What does a wooden house look like? An old broken down shack. I don't want that up here. Workshop. What does the workshop look like? Now that's interesting because we could put a repair trigger in it. Let's bring the workshop in. Export. Alright, now I think, let me close that. I think I don't even have to fix the textures. Ritchie Valley, new buildings. What did we bring in? House 01. Yeah, I don't have to fix any of the textures on anything I imported. Household 1 should be good. I'm just going to randomly check one more. Watermill. Yeah, I don't have to fix any textures. Alright, let's... Well, yeah, I was not expecting to find out lemon greenhouse. We are definitely going to do something with lemons now. Now, problem is, I'll have to add lemons to all the maps, so that'll be a future map update. But we'll definitely have lemons. Oh, really cool. Then we can do something with like an Alex's lemonade stand to honor her. We'll definitely do lemons on Alex's lemonade. Alright, back to what we're supposed to be working on. File import House 01. And I'm just gonna, oh, I gotta move transform groups. So edit, cut, visibility, paste. Now you're going to be way too small for a 16x map, so we're going to have to upsize you. Let's go 1.25, 1.25. Yeah, we got to upscale you a little bit. Now, what do you look like? So you're just a house. You have no garage, but that's fine. Not every farmhouse has to have a garage. Now we're going to put you about there. Now, are you going to be... Hang on, I want to put this next to one of my other houses. I don't know if the scale is still right or not. Let me fly across the map and put it down next to one of my existing houses and see. I'm going to try and scale it over there. That's the scale still looks off a little bit. I want to see if it's about the same size as this house. No, you're still going to be too small. So let's go 1.5. And then how are you in size compared to this one? Yeah, that's going to be much better. So now we can come back over here. We can start building our farmyard. So now I can put you back here. And I'm going to put you about there. We'll have a road coming in from the... He'll have a long driveway coming in. And we'll put a couple of sheds here. And I'll have a long driveway coming over that direction. This farmhouse isn't going to be as fancy and decorated as the other ones. I still say I want to go up a little bit bigger. It still looks off. And I'm not going to know until we get in game. Let's go file, import. I'm going to import that workshop. I'm going to see what it looks like. So let's go edit, cut, and paste. And we can put, yeah, even the workshop's going to have to be scaled up. Let's go 1.5, 0.5, and now we're going to have to... I'm tempted to bring a wooden house in now for this, but we can use this as our workshop and our sort of our garage. And we can actually pull the triggers out of here, spawn them in, and make it a working workshop. So I'm going to put you about, let's bring you over. Put you about there for now, but that's not going to be your final home. Norna. Oh, I'm just calling you Norna. You know me and my names. Thank you for stopping in, saying hello. Alright, so we're going to bring the workshop in. Let's go File, Import. I want to bring in the little hunter's hut. And we're going to go Edit, Cut, and Paste. And I'm gonna upscale that a little bit too. I'm gonna go File, Import. I want to bring in the windmill, watermill. Oh, when it's missing the sounds. Okay. So edit. Oh, hang on. Let me fix the sounds. Let's delete you back out. We gotta fix the sounds for the watermill. Alright, so what are you missing? You're missing sound, water, squeak, wave. So I gotta come in here to sounds. And we have to go to my decorations folder. We have to steal the sounds. Come on, reset yourself. Watermill squeak. Copy. Paste. There we go. So now we're no longer missing the sounds. Now, was I missing a sound on... Did the workshop have any sounds I missed? Nope, just all textures. Okay. Rel Silo 02 I'm done with. Let me close that. Alright, so that should fix our sound. So File, Import, Watermill. So there should be no more sound error when I import it in. There's not. So let's cut you. We're going to go up here. I'm going to go... oh, crap. We had to go here and then go Edit, Paste. And it didn't bring it in. Oh, it did. There's our watermill. Now, these are all going to be a little bit too small. The hunter's hut's not. But I'm going to upscale these a little bit more anyway. We're going to go 1.5. Because I think I think the scale's going to be off on these. We're going to put the water wheel over by... We're going to bring in a barn or something for this guy. But before I go any further, I'm going to save this. We're going to go in game because I don't know what the scale... I think the scale is still off and I can't tell in the editor. So we're going to drive a pickup truck over here. And we're going to see what the in-game pickup truck looks like near these buildings. Then we'll play with the scale before we build this area. Wheels is in the house. Hello. Thanks for stopping in. A long OS. So it's Norno. What's the pronunciation for the GA? Nornaga admin? Yep, Nornaga admin. Okay. I've got it right for the next time you pop into my stream. Thanks for bearing with me there, because I suck at names. Alright, let's go see what the scale looks like before we build this area. 'Cause I have a feeling the scale is still off a little bit on these houses, on that new house. So before we spend a ton of time, let's take a peek at it. Yes. Yep. You see, you're agreeing with me that I suck at names. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, unfortunately, I can't go too much longer. I'm going to have to get out of here. I do have some errands to run. I don't know if I'll be back on today or not. Just depends on what time we get back and what has to be done before dinner. But let's just grab a truck. I'm just going to lease it. I don't have to throw any money in. And let's head over to that area we started working on. And I want to see the scale of how that house feels. One of these days I gotta fix that sidewalk. It is way too wide. I keep saying that every time we come in game. That sidewalk is still way too wide. Oh, look at that big hole where the swimming pool should be. You're gonna have a big hole there till you build this, till you build those apartment complexes. I should put another crane there that disappears. Or a bulldozer down in the hole. We're gonna do something because I completely forgot about that big hole where the swimming pool goes. So it'd be cool to have a bulldozer in there until you build that piece of property, and then the bulldozer will disappear. I gotta pop my head out and see what the dog's barking at too. Alright, so we'll come out here, we'll hang a right. And we get across the bridge. It'll be the piece of property that we're working on. Why is my map backwards? My map is upside down. Or did I turn the wrong way? Am I completely lost on my own map? I am. No, we're heading the right direction. I forgot I'm heading south. Is the map... No, the map's not backwards. We're good. Alright, so we are going to come across the bridge. And now we're going to have, just past this pole, right about here, we're going to have a driveway coming back to where this farmhouse is that we're going to build. Yeah, okay, the scale on the house is... I got to come down a little bit more. We're going to bring it back to 1.5. So I'm going to bring that down a little bit. And then we'll get the... We don't have the triggers in, but we'll get the workshop working. We'll give it its own little workshop. I'm half tempted to change that to a wooden house instead of the stone house. But we're gonna bring over a barn too, I think. And we're gonna have a driveway that comes across around here. So we have another long driveway that will come over and tie into the railroad silos. So we'll have railroad silos here, and then this railroad silo will tie into the silo on the bottom of the mountain. So you can drop stuff off at the bottom of the mountain, pick it up on the top of the mountain, or vice versa. Alright, so I think the only thing I need to do is scale that farmhouse down a little bit more. And then this will put you back, as soon as I put the railroad crossings in, this will put you back on the main road. I'm half tempted to squash that mountain down a little bit more. Yeah, we gotta I'm gonna bring the Hunter's Lodge back down a little bit, and I'm gonna bring this house back down a little bit. And I think we'll be good on the scale. Nice. Nah, that map is just temporary because we were using. I built this off the island base, and whenever we brought the map up, it was the map of the island, the islands map, my Ritchie Islands map, and it was driving me nuts. So we just Papa Smurf just did a really quick map, just so we weren't looking at the islands map every time we came into map to test. I'm going to take you down to 1.5, and this hunter's hut, I'm going to leave it tall, but I'm going to make it a little bit more skinny. Let's go like 1.25, and then 1.25. Your list sidewalk pool hole, and yeah. And the size of the house. Oh, the sidewalk will eventually get to once we start building that whole workshop area. But my main goal today is, and I only got like 20 minutes. I have to get out of here for a couple hours, unfortunately. Is to get this farmhouse built. But now that the scale is where I want it to be, I'm going to take this hunter's hut and we're going to put it like over near the mountain, looking down. And you should be able to climb up it as well. So I want to put it over here, looking down the mountain. So you can climb up in it and get some really good views looking out. And then what I'm going to do is, now this is probably going to all freak out. I'm going to come over here. I want to give this house a barn, but we're going to make this property look a little bit different. And I'm hoping I can get back on after I'm running errands before dinner, even if it's for like an hour or two, because I really want to work on this railroad silo. Because tomorrow we'll be working on greenhouses. We probably won't be back in the map for like 2 days. I want to grab this barn here that we're using for the poultry house. I'm not going to take all of the workings. We're just going to grab the barn itself. So there won't be any of the chickens. There won't be any of the water troughs. There won't be anything like that. Let me duplicate this barn. And I'm going to move it to, not Railroad Silo 02, Railroad Silo 03. So let's go Edit, Cut, and paste. Now let's go see what that looks like with Ooh, I want the silo too. Hold on, I want to grab the silo. Let me duplicate the silo. And let's go edit, cut, visibility, paste. There we go. So I want this piece of property to look different than the other two that we just built. So a little bit different than Railroad Silo 01 and 02. But yeah, the sidewalk over by the vehicle shop will work on once we do that whole town square. Alright, so if we come back over here by the house, let's pull the barn over and we'll see what the barn looks like. Okay, so I'm going to tie in the house, the barn, and the workshop together. Now you are just the barn, right? So you can actually use this for storage. So if you want to park, you know, a tractor in here or whatever, store some hay bales in here, that'll be really cool. So we'll tie the house, the barn, the workshop, the water mill, and the silo in together somehow. But I want to put the barn over here a little bit away from the house. So for now, let's get the workshop out of the way. Let's get the water mill out of the way. Let's work on the barn. So I think we're gonna put the barn about here. Leave some room behind it. You can drive around it or park some equipment behind it. So we'll pull it away from the mountain a little bit. Now where? Alright, let me just pull it down just a hair. So it's sitting, there we go, on the ground. And we'll put our silo, it's going to be non-working silo, but we'll put our silo here because I think it just looks really cool with it. So we'll have a barn, we'll tie into our stone farmhouse. We'll have, we'll grab our workshop. We'll bring our workshop over, and this will actually be a work. We'll get it to work. We'll put the triggers in here, so this piece of property will have a working workshop. Now I want to leave some room. Let's put it on this side. So let's put our workshop sort of close to the barn. Somewhere about here. And then we have to tie our windmill in with the barn, or our water mill in with the barn. So let's put that. Sort of like there. No. I want it closer to... I think I'm gonna flatten this mountain out some more. Indecisive today. I'm not in a creative mood today. Let's just pull you. I want it close to the barn, but not. No, let's just push it back. Actually, I'm half tempted to put it back here. Nope, don't like that either. I have no idea where I want to put it. It's got to be away from the mountain a little bit. Let's throw it over here. Now it's got to be near the barn. Let's just throw it back here. Got to be away from the mountain where it works. But away from the barn a little bit. close to the barn, but close to the mountain, but away from the mountain. That'll work. So this house will not have its own little garage. But it's going to have, it does need a pretty long driveway coming in from the road though. Oh, did it disappear? It did. So we're going to have to fix visibility or low distance a little bit so it doesn't disappear when you zoom out. So the workshop, did it disappear as well? It did. So let's take our workshop. And let's increase the low distance so it doesn't disappear. Same thing with the hunter's hut. Let's make you a little bit more visible. And then the watermill, let's make you a little bit more visible so they don't disappear when you drive away. Alright, now let's go back to round, square or round? Round. I don't want a square driveway. We're gonna go, so we're gonna bring you in something like that. Am I gonna have to go a little bit wider? We're gonna have to go a little bit wider. Or you're not going to be able to get your bigger equipment in there. So we're going to have to go a little bit wider. Or you're not going to be able to get like the big plows and stuff back there. Alright. So let's take you around. And then you're going to come sort of from this direction through here over this way a little bit and around this way, something like that. And then the house will have its own little driveway coming off of that, and so will the barn. And I can make that a little bit smaller. So we can have, where's your other door? Right there. So let's just give you a concrete pad to park on. And then you'll need a little sidewalk going to your front door. Now we can do a smaller driveway coming out to here because it only needs to fit a car. There we go. And then we could take our barn, and I'm going to go to rough dirt. If you put it right at the barn, it needs a pipe connecting it to the barn. Yeah, I think we're just going to leave it out there, sort of like hanging. I may move it later, but like I'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep, and I'll come into the map and I'll look around and I'll go, okay, this needs to be moved, this needs to be tweaked, this needs to go here, and I'll like literally like shift some stuff around to make it visually look better. Because off camera, I'll just take a half an hour and I'll just drive around the map just to see if anything catches my eye that looks out of place. And I'm not sure where I want to put that windmill yet. I have a little shed I'm going to bring in, so I may tie the windmill in a little shed in. Or I could say the heck with it, and right here in front of, in this area right here, I may bring in an open chicken pen and bring the water mill closer to it. So I'm not sure yet, but we may put in like an open free range chicken pen right here, and it'll tie this property in. And if you want this road to be any wider, you're going to have to paint it in a little bit wider yourself. But let's bring you along here. And we're going to make this a little bit wider so you have room to put implements there. And let's bring you out to like here. Something like that, and we'll tie you back into the barn. Something like that. And gives you a little bit of barn to store some hay and stuff in. The water mill's just going to hang out there. We can always move it. It's definitely out of place. But the mountain's too high for me to put it right next to the mountain. Alright, now I want to separate the house a little bit from, I'm going to bring in a couple more pieces of playground equipment for the backyard, but I'm going to separate the house a little bit from the rest of the property. And I'm not going to worry about a fence or a hedge or anything along the water. If you fall off the edge of the water, that's all on you. I want to leave it open. Or yeah, I'm going to leave it open. My second thought was just bringing a hedge across all the way from there to the bridge and put a hedge across. But we'll see. But I am going to bring some hedges in for this piece of property, because I don't want to put a fence here. I think a hedge will look much better. Let's go to my decorations. And let's see what I have in the way of hedges here. I thought I had some. Maybe not. Thought I had some hedges in here. I do have a shed that I wanted to bring in for the house. But I didn't want to bring that big shed in. I wanted something a little bit smaller. And I can tie that in with the water wheel. We're going to bring this in. So let's go File, Export, Wood, Shed, Medium. I thought I had some hedges in here. If not, I have another one I can use. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. I'm going to take the triggers out of it so it doesn't work. I want it just to be a decoration. So we're going to neuter that a little bit. But I swear, let me scroll back to the top. I thought I had some hedges in here. Apartments, barrels, camping stuff, which we're going to use. Fence planks. Oh, here we go. Hedge. Let's see what you look like. Let's go file, import, hedge 1. And let's go. Let's see what you look like. Oh, this is the longer one. Perfect. File, export, hedge 2, I'll just call it. Alright. We may put a hedge along the water, we'll see. But let's come over here, let's bring in, let's go file, import, let's bring in that wooden shed medium. And let's go edit, cut. Again, this is going to be strictly decorative. But I want to make it a little bit taller. And yeah, and that'll tie in with our water mill. It won't look out of place. And then we're going to go file, import. We're going to bring in the outhouse in. But I want to look at this outhouse because we don't need to trigger. I don't need this. I don't need that. I don't need that. I just want this strictly to be decorative. So that'll tie this area in a little bit better. Now we can even go like this, since we have the workshop over here. Let's go a little bit more dirt along here a second. And let's go back to my decorations. And there should be this guy. Come back over here. Let's go file, import. An old, go down to my speed. Old tractor sitting over here. Go back. Okay, so yeah, thank you. I did find the hedges. I did scroll past them, but we did bring them back in. So let's bring one. So I do want to separate the house from the barn property a little bit. So let's go File, Import. I'm going to bring in the long hedge. I'll bring them both in. And I'm just going to plop them here, and then I'll move transform groups. Let's grab the other hedge. Alright, now so what I'm going to need to do, so we're going to put that needs a rigid body, the visibility is good. Actually, we don't need seasons. I don't need area. I don't need the foliage area. All I need is this viz. So I'm going to actually go, let's move it up. Let's go edit, cut, and paste. And we'll throw it here for now. And I'm going to give it a little bit better load distance, and I'm going to give it a rigid body. Okay, so it does have a collision on it. Perfect. And then we're going to take this other hedge. So this one I can delete. And this one, all I need is the viz. Oh, it's 3 hedges together. I don't even need this. I can stretch 3 hedges together. So that one I'm going to delete completely. Don't need it. It's just 3 hedges together. So now we can use our hedge to separate the property. Now, do I want to tie in? Where do I want to tie it in? Do I want to tie that in with the house? Make a part of the backyard? Or do I want to tie it in with the barn and bring our hedge sort of like this way to separate the backyard? I think I'm going to tie that in with the barn, and we're going to separate out the backyard. But I'm going to make you a little bit taller. Now, which direction? I want to angle you a little bit more this way. Yeah, I like that better. Because I want these will build into the map, because we're going to make this area buildable. And I want to do them as single individual little sections. And then I'm going to come back here and I'm going to turn it a little bit more, I think. No, let's go. Yeah, we'll go one more section. We'll leave room. Bring you over. We'll turn you a little bit. Like that, to get room to get into the backyard. And then on this side of the house, we'll start at the corner of the house. And which way do I want to bring you? I think I just want to bring it straight across to the water. And then we'll make a decision whether we want to put a hedge along the water. And that'll tie in. No, I don't like, hang on. I'm going to delete that one. I want to continue this angle. I want to continue this angle. So we're going to go from the front of the house. Yeah. Over. And it's going to visually look better in game. time is it? Yeah, I'm about another 10 minutes. I'm going to have to get out of here. So we'll get this hedge finished. I'm going to save and close. I do have to get out of here for a couple hours. Now I think I am going to bring it across the back for the backyard. So let's bring you over a little bit more. Yeah. And now I can turn you this way. And we can bring you back along the water. And that'll finish the backyard, except for some more playground equipment. Push you back a little bit and start turning you a little bit. Now if I keep going at this angle, yeah, I'm just going to keep going straight. I should just bring all of those decorations into the map and just stage them somewhere until I want, and then use them and then just delete the extra ones out. Instead of bringing them in two at a time. And just put them in a staging area on the map and use them as we need them. Now I do want to angle you a little bit more. Yeah, something like that. Now, do we want to take this hedge all the way over to the road? That is the million-dollar question. Because we are going to line this with trees coming in. And we're actually going to line this road all the way around over to the railroad silo with trees. And then this is going to be a grass meadow. I'm thinking I'm going to bring the hedge all the way across. Can I ask for placeable highway guardrails if you decide no hedge? Now I think I'm going to put the hedge in. The hedge has a collision. That'll keep you from falling off. It'll be a nice transition from grass to cliff. So we're going to take this guy. And as soon as I get this hedge in, I have to get out of here. But we're going to bring you across. Get this hedge in, and I do have to get out of here. I do apologize, but I do have some errands to run. Now, are you too far out? No, I think you'll be fine. We could put some grassy bits in. No, do I want to push that back a little bit? No, I think we're good. We will angle it a little bit more though. Yeah, the hedge has a collision, so it's going to keep you from falling into the water. Or if you decide to put a field here and you hire a worker, your crazy worker won't drive off the cliff because we know how good the AI helpers are. Yeah, now you're getting too far away. So now we got to push you back a little bit. Angle you just a little bit more. Oh, stop. And then, yeah, we're going to have to angle you back a little bit more. Now, hold on, before I go any further, let me grab my grass texture and let's push this back to where it needs to go. A little bit further. Now our hedge, now I know our hedge is too far out. Yeah, that's going to be much better. It's that fine line between too far away from the water go a couple more pieces and we're going to have to make a slight turn. I need, yeah, let me push this back a little bit further. Yeah, and this will make, I wasn't going to put it in, but this will make it look more finished. See, this is why it takes so long to build the railroad silos. By the time you get all the decorations in, make it look good, it turns out to be like an 8-hour project. Now that works. Now you know when we get to this piece of property, we're going to have to continue that hedge all the way back. So it's going to turn out to be this major project. But that definitely, when we go back in game, that's definitely going to look much better. And then, yeah, I have to get. Let me save this. I do have to get out of here. I apologize. I have some errands to run. I can't put them off till tomorrow. So I'm going to do a save. I'm going to throw y'all on ending soon. I really hate to get out of here. I'd rather spend the next 8 hours till the next 6 hours till dinner time, 5 hours working on this, but unfortunately some real life stuff's getting in the way today. Now I don't like that unfinished hedge, so after we come back in, I'm going to run this hedge. I think I'm going to run this hedge all the way along the mountain. Or we'll put some other bushes in there, we'll see. Sassy one, see you later. Yeah, I'm just going to hang out here for a minute or two till this saves so I can close it. Appreciate everybody stopping in, saying hello. And I'm going to try my best. I don't know how long I'm going to be gone, but I will try my best to come on for at least an hour or two. Not a link. If you put a period in, it thinks it's a link. I will try and at least come in for an hour or two before dinner, if I have the time.